Good day. Today we are going to have a brief tour around the system, and I will give an explanation of what the system components are and how they hang together. The home page, which most of you will be familiar with now, has all the options that we require to adjust the information that resides in the system, the lookup information, our folder definitions, and even our user setup and definitions. These component parts at the bottom we cover under a separate tutorial. You have your alerts on the right, you have anything in your to-do folder in the middle, and you have any scheduled meetings on the left. In the folder, under the folder tab rather, there are 8 folder groups. A folder group is the equivalent to a filing cabinet or a drawer in a filing cabinet. So we might have a drawer that is labeled business, and in that drawer we only have the folders for business related items. We are currently looking at our daily folder group, and within the daily folder group we have these folders here. This equates to a normal buff manila folder in which we have information that relates to a particular subject. So in this instance we are looking at to-do, and you can see over here it says new folder items for the to-do list, and there are 3 items in here. If I want to add an item, I simply click on new folder item and it will bring up a blank form for me to enter the information for any item that is in the to-do folder. Now you can see there are several items that are defined in there. So there's the form, that's what it looks like. We're not going to enter anything right now, so we'll step out. There are 3 items defined in my to-do list at the moment. These are what we call folder items. So we've got the folder group daily, we have within that a range of folders. One of those happen to be to-do, and within to-do we've got 3 folder items. The data that we can enter to any folder depends on how we define it. We deal with that separately under a different tutorial. For each folder item you can have any number of folder notes, and you can see as I go from one item to the next, the notes at the bottom will change. So any notes that I want to enter into the system that relates to completing the report for Mary, I simply go to new item note for complete report for Mary. I click on here and I can put in a new note. The contacts view that we have at the top here is simply looking at our folder that contains all our contacts, and this can be manipulated any which way you like. Your journal entry, there are 2 parts to your journal. The one are notes that are entered. You can either enter this directly via new journal, or when you enter a note, as I did in this case, where I entered a note for the report that I had to complete for Mary, I selected CC done on entering the note, and that automatically puts a carbon copy in the journal, your professional journal. Your personal journal is where you go and write up any ideas, thoughts, feelings, whatever it is that matters to you for the day, you write up in there. The planner, from here I can make appointments, I can review what I've got planned in any number of ways. Coach, that's where we start holding ourselves accountable to ourselves. One can set up questions, quotes, and affirmations. The questions are of 2 types. It's either a start of day or an end of day question, and that again is handled under a separate tutorial. Ideas, well, this is where we jot down some things that currently do not belong anywhere else in the system. So again, you can put a new idea in, much the same as you can on a journal, and you can put any random notes down the bottom here. Alerts, well, you will have seen that by now. It shows you any alerts that are currently tripped in your system, and you can see that one is tripped. This might look a little bit odd in that there's a whole page with only 1 item. Within a networked environment there are some additional items that become available here. Under tools we have a range of different tools. We can generate reports from here, and there's an extensive suite of reports that you can generate from within the system, and you will see there are a range of reports to pick from at the top. And of course you can select date ranges, sequences, and all the rest of it. World time is what you see displayed here. You can go and select any area that you want to monitor and have a look at. Hot links is simply a way in which you can set up some favorites. You simply add a new hotlink, and down the side here it will show any sponsored links. These are people that we work with generally, and people with businesses that we believe are worth displaying to you. Sorry, I can get out of this for now. System function. This is an important one in that there's all the controls of how the system behaves, doing backups and restores, doing maintenance on the database, compacting it and removing old dead spaces that are in there, importing and exporting folders, doing a sync to Outlook, importing mail, even importing our public holidays. But here's an even better one. Down the side here we can go and select a skin, and we just selected there, and you will see the colors for the screen will change. There we go. Your help button at the end here enables you to make suggestions, see what version details you have for the system you're currently running. You can get some better plan help, and you can get to the tutorial index from here, check for updates, and of course call for customer support. There's a very brief overview of how the system hangs together and what the component parts are. Have a lovely day. Good day.